EAFC 25, or as some like to call it, the copy and paste football simulator, is still dominating the market. But why are people still buying this game, even though it hasn't changed for the last 5 years? After giving the game an actual chance before I make criticisms, I'm going to share my experience with you from what I've played so far. And no, I didn't actually buy the game, this is just based off of a 10-hour trial. Let's start with what many players feel is the most frustrating part of the EAFC franchise: the lack of significant new features. Let's be real, what's actually changed when you compare this version of EAFC to the older versions like FIFA 19 or FIFA 20? The core gameplay is literally the same, just this time they've added playstyle pluses, for example, or some other new silly feature. EA will add minor tweaks like new menus here and there, but at the end of the day it's still the same gameplay loop. People were hoping for next gen enhancements or more dynamic gameplay. That's not innovation, that's just maintaining the status quo. And that's where EA's business model can really come into question, because if you were them, why would you innovate when you can get away with these minor updates? People are going to still keep buying this game no matter what. But to actually give them some credit this year, they have included a very fun new game mode. The new Rush mode, which is a part of Ultimate Team, believe it or not, why would they want to update anything else, is a new 4v4 game mode which is actually very fun with friends especially. However, do you seriously think this one new game mode, this one piece of innovation that they actually use their brains for, is worth the £70 base game price tag? Gaming companies like 2K are just as bad as EA, yes, I can agree with that. But over the years, they've introduced modes like My Career, giving players a far deeper connection to the sport by allowing them to control individual players and developing their careers. In my opinion, these modes go beyond just playing matches. They immerse you in a story, and is something that maybe keeps players coming back. But I won't give it too much credit because unfortunately it is just way too pay to win. Imagine if EA actually put some real effort into creating an engaging career experience, something with meaningful decisions, rivalries and player development that actually feels rewarding. But I'll tell you exactly why they are not doing that later in the video. So despite this one new feature they've added, why do people actually keep coming back if there is barely anything new? A big reason in my opinion is just the updated teams. It's definitely what sways me the most to want to even consider picking the game up. Every football fan wants to play with their favourite club's latest squad, with the new kits, new players or even new player ratings. But when you actually think clearly about it, are the updated teams really worth £70 every single year? In the past, modding communities on the PC have offered these updated rosters for free, yet because most players are on the consoles, they rely entirely on EA to provide these changes for them, and EA know this. It's almost like their safety net in a way. The demand for updated teams alone keeps players on the hook, even though the actual gameplay itself is the exact same. Next, I'm going to move on to something I've already mentioned twice previously, and that is the £70 price tag for the base game alone. I can understand that many different gaming companies are pricing their games this way now, and I can even imagine that when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's probably going to be the first £100 game that's not a deluxe edition. To put the £70 price tag into perspective, 10 years ago, FIFA 15 was priced at around £45. When you consider inflation as well, £45 10 years ago is £60 today, meaning that they have added £10 on. But I'm not too sure what I'm actually paying for in today's FIFA in comparison to the one I paid for and played 10 years ago. It's certainly not the new features or better gameplay, maybe it's just the updated graphics, which at the bare minimum is what they should be doing. It's a huge slap in the face to the consumer, and for £70 players would expect more than just cosmetic updates. But for paying for the game alone isn't actually what makes EA the most of their money.
Oh, it's an icon! Who is it? Oh my god! Oh, please be Maldini, it's probably not going to be, is it? Oh, Baresi, we have packed our first icon of FC25, Baresi.
That would be Ultimate Team, EA's golden goose. Incredibly enough, they have actually managed to turn Ultimate Team into more of a massive cash cow as the years go by. Players spending hundreds, sometimes even thousands of pounds every single year to open packs, hoping they'll get lucky and pull a top tier player. I can be honest and say I myself have been guilty of doing this, and is actually where a lot of my student loan has gone. As long as people keep spending money on packs, EA has no plans to change the formula whatsoever because it makes them so much money. Ultimate Team is designed to hook players and keep them spending year after year after year. For EA, it's the ultimate business model, and that's why they're going to keep taking advantage of it, like they have been with the promo packs this year already. That's right, promo packs on the very first day of FIFA. That is absolutely insane, and it's greedy. On the first few weeks of FIFA, building a starter team that was actually decent used to be a challenge, but it was manageable and fun. To be fair to EA, there's lots of in-game content which does allow you to earn lots of different packs, which makes getting these players a lot easier. But on day one of the game, I cannot imagine most players actually grinding and doing that. Rather, they've probably just gone straight to the store, saw promo packs in store, and decided to flood their account with FIFA points. And once again, this just goes straight back to the core problem that is EA. They know that they will not have to innovate whatsoever because people keep spending money on these packs. Why create a new revolutionary game when you can keep selling the same experience and rake in millions every single year? Imagine a world where EA focused on making all aspects of the game better, not just the part that brings in the most money. Why do you think we have never had an online career mode? It's because it would be by far the best mode on the entire game and people would just stop playing Ultimate Team, which is one of EA's massive money making tools. The saddest part about all of this is the fact that people's addiction to these kind of games stops them from experiencing games that are just far superior in every way, that are about the same price or even cheaper. In terms of football games, there is a far superior option out there in which is Football Manager 25, which is more rewarding and cheaper than EAFC. As well as that, people would have their eyes open massively if they tried out a story mode game, or even some of the other alternative multiplayer games that have been released. Take a look at the recently released Black Myth Wukong, for example, an action-adventure game that's actually pushing the boundaries of creativity and gameplay. The best example of someone who had a massive shock after playing some of these amazing story games is Kai Cenat, one of the biggest streamers in the world who just used to play 2K before. After he streamed to thousands of people and completed one of the best games ever made, Elden Ring, here's what he had to say.
God of War, I love you. I love you. This game is a cinema. Although I died multiple times, it was very rewarding. I literally enjoyed every boss death. I've never felt some shit in my soul like this. I don't know what game compares to this right now. This is an absolute cinema. From the fucking designs of the character, to the little things you need, to the crafting table, to the round table, to the bosses you gotta fight, to the runes you gotta get, to upgrading, being wise without that team, testing which ones to use, going back, rebirthing, all of that. To the co-op, to the PvP, to seeing random players within your game, to seeing how people die and laugh at it, to see the messages, how funny they were. The weapons, the upgrades, absolute cinema, 10 out of 10 across the board. This is my favorite game that I've ever played for a marathon on stream, and that's facts.
Have you ever seen a content creator who plays EAFC, Madden, or NBA 2K react to their games like that? People who are buying these recycled games should try something different. Games like Elden Ring and Wukong both offer a fresh breath of creativity and a real sense of achievement. They prove that when developers actually put passion into their projects, the results are truly memorable. These games aren't chasing microtransactions, they're focused on delivering an enjoyable, immersive experience, and the only additional money you're going to pay towards them is for buying DLC, which in some cases is like a whole new game in itself. These gaming companies actually take player criticism on board and make changes based on their feedback, which is a lot more than EA can say that they do. Year after year, players flood social media with suggestions, feedback, and criticism. Whether it's the lack of an online career mode, the slow pace of gameplay improvements, or the increasing focus on microtransactions, players are very vocal about what they want. When was the last time you can remember EA making significant changes based on community input outside of Ultimate Team? EA could be so much more if they listened to their fans and worked alongside them to build the best football game possible. Instead, the focus remains on what sells, not what improves the overall experience. So between missed opportunities for innovation and ignoring community feedback, EA has shown us where their priorities really lie. Until we stop buying into the same recycled formula, EA will continue to push microtransactions, overpricing, and minimal updates. It's time for us, the players, to demand better. EA have quite clearly got the facilities and resources to make a better game. They've made numerous great titles in the past, so it's either them not trying or them knowing that this same old formula works. Either their winning formula stops working a few years down the line and they are actually forced to make a very good game, or a competitor rises and rivals them at the very top of the football market. Do you think EA will ever innovate again? How do you actually feel about the missed opportunities and their disregard for community feedback? And will you actually be picking up this year's copy of EAFC? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you have enjoyed this breakdown and have made it this far, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more content, as we would really appreciate it.